What would happen if the Earth suddenly stopped spinning, but the atmosphere kept moving? Imagine that one day, without warning, the planet came to a complete and instant stop. No slowing down, no gradual pause, just silence. The ground froze beneath our feet. The ocean stood still. The forests stopped swaying, and every city on Earth halted in perfect stillness. Everything stopped, except the air. The atmosphere, still racing at over 1,600 kilometers per hour, kept moving as if nothing had happened. And in that moment, civilization would end. At the equator, the surface of the Earth usually moves at 470 meters per second, faster than the speed of sound. If the planet stopped but the air continued, that air would become a supersonic wall of wind tearing across the surface, shredding everything in its path. People, trees, and buildings would be ripped from the ground and flung through the sky like dust in a storm. Every region between 42 degrees north and 42 degrees south, home to nearly 85% of humanity, would be caught in this deadly hurricane. Winds moving at 1,000 kilometers per hour wouldn't just knock things down, they would erase them. Within minutes, entire cities would crumble. Even bunkers would be no guarantee of safety because the air would pick up everything around cars, debris, concrete slabs and hurl them at supersonic speeds. Only those deep underground in mines or research bases might survive the initial onslaught. Farther north, near the poles, the winds would be weaker but still catastrophic. Even in Svalbard, the northernmost settlement on Earth, the storm would reach the strength of the planet's most violent tropical cyclones. Buildings would tear free from their foundations, trees would be ripped apart, and the landscape would change beyond recognition. No human city would remain standing. Underground, however, some people might survive. Those hidden in deep shelters or scientific outposts would be safe from the surface chaos. At the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station, scientists might barely notice the change at first. The South Pole lies directly on the Earth's axis, so the ground there doesn't move as the planet spins. For them, everything would be eerily still, until someone realized the sun had stopped moving across the sky. Meanwhile, near the equator, the oceans would erupt into madness. The moving air would shear the sea surface into vapor and foam until the boundary between water and sky disappeared. The ocean would become a roaring storm of spray and mist. As the air heated up from the friction, it would evaporate even more water, fueling endless thunderstorms. Lightning would flash nonstop, and thunder would roll without pause as the atmosphere unleashed its fury. The wind's momentum would transfer into the water, creating monstrous waves that circled the globe from west to east. Every west-facing coastline would face the largest storm surge in history, a wall of water hundreds of meters high sweeping inland for miles. When the chaos finally faded, a heavy fog would settle over the cooling seas, blocking sunlight and plunging much of the world into a dim, frozen silence. If the Earth truly stopped spinning forever, the familiar rhythm of day and night would disappear. The sun would no longer rise and set each day. Instead, it would crawl slowly across the sky, taking an entire year to complete a single circuit. Half the planet would endure 6 months of unbroken daylight, while the other half lay in 6 months of night. On the sunlit side, the ground would scorch under constant radiation. On the dark side, temperatures would fall to hundreds of degrees below zero. The atmosphere would rush between the two halves, creating never-ending storms that circled the globe like a belt of chaos. Eventually, after the first wave of destruction, the winds would begin to slow. Bit by bit, their energy would transfer back to the Earth, and the planet would start turning again, almost imperceptibly. One full rotation, relative to the stars, would now take about 3,000 years. Humanity would not live to see it, but the laws of physics would quietly, patiently try to restore balance. Through it all, the moon would continue its silent orbit around the Earth. Its gravity would tug gently at the still planet, pulling it forward while drifting a little farther away itself. Over millions of years, it would gradually return motion to the Earth. Not violently, but slowly, like a soft cosmic nudge after a long sleep. And perhaps eons later, when the Earth spins once more and life finds its way back, someone will look up at the moon and wonder, what would happen if the Earth suddenly stopped spinning? And the moon, shining quietly in the dark, might seem to whisper back, I remember.